Imagine a place where breathing the wrong air can turn you into a petrified statue. Another where the ground beneath your feet reaches temperatures that could literally cook your body. And one more where the sky discharges 60 lightning bolts per minute. These places exist on our planet right now, and some of them have people living in them. Welcome to the most hostile and deadly corners of Earth, where survival is a constant challenge against nature itself. If you're fascinated by the extremes of our planet, subscribe because we're going to explore the places that push the limits of what humans can endure. We begin in eastern Russia, in the heart of the eastern Siberian mountains, where we find Oymyakon, the coldest inhabited place in the northern hemisphere. Its lowest recorded temperature was minus 71 degrees Celsius. Think about that for a moment. At that temperature, your breath freezes instantly in the air. Metal becomes brittle like glass, and leaving your house without proper protection means death within minutes. The strange thing is that Oymyakon isn't even inside the Arctic Circle. So how can it be the coldest point in the northern hemisphere? The answer lies in its geography. The North Pole is located in the Arctic Ocean, and water acts as a temperature regulator, preventing temperatures from dropping too low. Oymyakon, on the other hand, is surrounded by land and large mountains that trap cold air and prevent warmer winds from entering. It's a perfect trap of deadly cold. Ironically, the name Oymyakon means water that doesn't freeze because the region has a secret. It sits at the confluence of several tectonic plates, where the Earth's crust is thin. Heat from the mantle warms underground waters, creating thermal springs. It's thanks to these hot springs that its inhabitants can tolerate such extreme temperatures and even fish during winter. Still, most of the year they must remain isolated in their homes because going outside is literally lethal. We now travel to northern South America, to the border between Panama and Colombia, where the Darien Gap is located, known as the Green Hell. It's the most hostile jungle on the planet in proportion to its territory because it combines multiple deadly factors. Elevations between 100 and 1200 meters, the highest rainfall on the planet, mountainous terrain with vegetation so dense that trails disappear, raging rivers that can sweep you away, and extremely dangerous wildlife. Jaguars, pumas, caimans, venomous snakes, insects that carry deadly diseases. The climate is brutal with extreme humidity, intense heat, and constant rain. The water isn't drinkable, so dehydration or infections from drinking contaminated water are constant threats. And as if this weren't enough, the region is controlled by armed groups, drug traffickers, guerrillas, and paramilitaries. Every year, hundreds of migrants attempt to cross it heading to the United States. Many never make it out. On the eastern coast of Australia, we find Fraser Island, which holds the record for being the world's largest sand island. Its indigenous name is Kagari, meaning paradise, and at first glance it could seem like one. But it's gained worldwide fame for having the most dangerous beach on the planet. In its waters live saltwater crocodiles, stingrays, great white sharks, and irukandji jellyfish, whose venom can kill you in minutes. On land, packs of wild dingoes that can be friendly with large groups but lethal if they find you alone. The interior has quicksand impossible to distinguish and tides so powerful they can drag you out to sea with no chance of escape. The Skeleton Coast in Namibia is where the sea meets the desert in one of the most beautiful and deadly landscapes in the world. The influence of a powerful anticyclone and the cold Benguela current create extreme aridity despite being facing the ocean. The cold waters create dense fogs and giant waves that have sunk hundreds of ships. The coast is littered with shipwreck remains, and the sailors who survived had to face the desert with its extreme climate, lions, hyenas, and jackals. Stories of people who died of thirst meters from the ocean are numerous and devastating. Lake Natron in Tanzania is a hypersaline body of water with a pH as alkaline as bleach or chlorine. During the dry season, its waters reach 60 degrees Celsius. The lake sits next to the Serengeti Plains, where the largest terrestrial migration on the planet occurs. Thirsty animals that venture to drink end up as petrified statues from the sodium carbonate. Only flamingos and some algae survive there. In the heart of West Antarctica lies Vostok Station, where the lowest temperature in history was recorded, minus 89.2 degrees Celsius on July 21st, 1983. The station sits on the Antarctic Glacier at over 3,500 meters altitude, surrounded by plateaus that isolate it from the ocean. Winds create a vortex of frozen air, and the lack of cloud cover allows radiation to escape into space. It's the coldest recorded place on the planet. The Danakil Desert in the Horn of Africa is the hottest place on the planet year-round. In summer, it reaches 60 degrees, and in winter, it only drops to 24 degrees at night. It sits at the confluence of three tectonic plates with intense volcanic activity. Volcanoes, fumaroles, and springs of sulfur and boiling water act as permanent furnaces. Despite being so hostile, it's home to the Afar people, known for their resistance to extreme temperatures. North Sentinel Island in the Andaman Archipelago belongs to India. It has beautiful beaches and tropical forests, but it's inhabited by the most hostile tribe on the planet. They've lived isolated for thousands of years and attack with arrows, spears, and axes anyone who tries to visit them. The Indian government banned entry and constantly patrols to prevent incidents. Death Valley in the United States is the lowest point in North America, 86 meters below sea level. It has reached 56 degrees Celsius, the highest temperature recorded outside volcanic areas. During the gold rush, thousands of settlers died trying to cross it. Even today, drivers whose vehicles break down get stranded in this giant furnace. The Drake Passage between South America and Antarctica is considered by sailors as the stormiest on the planet. The Antarctic circumpolar current narrows in an 800-kilometer stretch, creating a funnel effect with the fastest and most turbulent currents in the world. Waves 10 to 30 meters high, ferocious winds, and constant storms. Queimada Grande Island in Brazil harbors the highest concentration of venomous snakes on the planet. There are more than 5 snakes per square meter. The Brazilian Navy strictly prohibits civilian entry. Only authorized personnel can access with proper protection. In the lake Maracaibo Basin in Venezuela occurs the phenomenon of Catatumbo lightning, the highest concentration of atmospheric electrical discharges on the planet. 297 electrical storms per year with an average of 20 to 60 lightning bolts per minute. The Andes mountain range and Sierra de Perijá trap trade winds, creating a vortex that increases cloud friction and static. Any living being not sheltered dies. The Atacama Desert in Chile is the driest on the planet. The combination of an anticyclone in the Pacific, the cold Humboldt Current, and the Andes mountain range that retains moisture from the Amazon creates extreme aridity. It reaches 4,000 meters elevation with extremely hot days and extremely cold nights. Solar radiation is so intense you can suffer severe burns even in cold weather. Every year, migrants, hikers, and tourists lose their lives. K2, on the border between China and Pakistan, is the second highest mountain in the world at 111 meters, but number 1 in danger. It has much steeper slopes than Everest, extremely inclined climbing sections, rock falls, avalanches, ferocious winds, and temperatures down to minus 60 degrees. Its mortality rate is 28% compared to Everest's 4%. Finally, Lake Kivu between Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo is a ticking time bomb. It's a crater lake that accumulates volcanic gases, 2,000 times more than Lake Nyos in Cameroon, where in 1986 a limnic eruption released gases that killed 1,800 people. Lake Kivu has over 2 million inhabitants on its shores. It's in a seismic zone where an earthquake could trigger a catastrophic limnic eruption at any moment. Now I ask you, if you had to survive 1 week in one of these extreme places, which would you choose? Option A, Oymyakon, with its minus 70 degrees where at least there's an established town. Option B, the Darien Gap, where you must face hostile nature and armed groups. Option C, the Atacama Desert, where dehydration and radiation are constant threats. Leave your answer in the comments because I want to know which one you think would give you the best chance of survival.